Hi there, my name is Kelsey Smith with Smith's Ridge. My husband and I and our two boys and one little one on the way. I am so pregnant right now. I'm like 38, 39 weeks. So in the final countdown days, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but we'll be joining us soon. We live here in Highville, Arkansas on a 12-acre homestead. We joined YouTube to just share our journey with you guys and to kind of document it for our own pleasure and reflection in the future. And we really just want to encourage other people to live a more intentional, thoughtful lifestyle, whatever that might look like for you. In this video, I really just wanted to cover the benefits, the nutritional benefits of raw milk. We have a Jersey dairy cow who's been producing milk since September. It has been such an amazing, rewarding journey, something that has just been so, my goodness, just such a treasure. I can't even describe it. Coming in with a haul of raw milk from your dairy cow is just so beautiful. My grandparents, they dairy farm generationally, commercially though, so much different scale, but I've been grateful to have mentors along the way in this journey who have a lot more experience than we do. We're only about 5 weeks into our milking journey here on our farm, but it has definitely been quite the learning experience. I will share the link to the video that talks about our how we acquired our dairy cow and that story. I'll link it here as well as in the description below. Here in Northwest Arkansas, I've encountered a lot of people who are curious about raw milk and interested in exploring it, which I love and think it's just so amazing that people are just looking for resources for their family and for their family's health. And so I'm going to link that video, the 5 things that you should know if you're new to raw milk, up above as well as down in the description as well. I also hope that if you find this video to be helpful at all or encouraging, or you just want to know a little bit more about our homestead or raw milk, because I will certainly be talking a lot about that, I hope that you'll subscribe and be sure to engage with our channel because that helps us out and we'd love to have you here on this journey with us. During this video, I am going to be reading a little bit off of my computer over here, and that's because there are some bigger or more technical words as far as the contents of raw milk that I'm not very familiar with because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a food scientist. So this is really just my findings from my research. I would encourage you to do your own. I'm going to be linking a lot of resources in the description below for you to also check out and explore and come to your own conclusion. But this is really a summary of what I've found, not only online, but found it to very much be true in our family as well as the families of our customers. Raw milk contains a wide array of beneficial minerals, vitamins, enzymes, probiotics, nutrients, all in their most natural state. It is a live food. It's considered to be a live food. It has 22 essential minerals and then also most of the fat soluble vitamins. So it is, when you say that raw milk is vitamin rich, I mean, it is seriously loaded. I mean loaded. It's a great source for calcium, iron, vitamins A, D, and K, phosphorus, zinc, conjugated linoleic acid, which is a type of fat that it has been associated with reducing body fat. It's oftentimes used in like a dietary supplement, or they make dietary supplements with CLA in it, but it also boosts the immune system too. It's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, and I think I already said probiotics as well as enzymes. And we're going to talk more about the enzymes here in just a minute. So many people have different reactions to pasteurized or processed milk, people oftentimes say that they get stomach cramps or bloating. I know people that get swelling and just get really uncomfortable in their gut in general. And we're going to dive into that in a minute. But before we do, pasteurization in the United States is heating milk up to 160 degrees to kill bad bacteria that could make a person sick. With it though, when killing these potentially harmful bacteria, it also deactivates a number of good, very good enzymes, as well as decreases some of the nutrient density and denatures the proteins in the milk. So I am going to read a list here just to make sure that I get each of these technically correct. Pasteurization decreases the bioavailability of calcium and phosphorus. It reduces the presence of copper and iron, reduces vitamins A, B complex, C, and E. It destroys the beta lactoglobulin, which decreases A and D. Let's just say it decreases vitamins A and D. Also destroys probiotics, which are really good for gut health and just pretty much overall human function. So probiotics, prebiotics are really important stuff. Really love giving my children raw milk because of the contents of the probiotics. It also inactivates. I saved this one for last because it is probably why most of the gut health issues arise with pasteurized milk, is because it destroys or inactivates the beneficial enzymes that were in the raw milk. There's a protease enzyme that helps digestion and a lipase enzyme that also aids in digestion of fats that gets destroyed during this pasteurization process, making it more difficult for people to enjoy drinking pasteurized milk. And so oftentimes, I won't get off on a soapbox completely here, but there is such a push for milk options that are not dairy, so different nuts and things like that provide milk, because milk can be so tough to digest. But raw milk helps our digestive systems produce a lactase enzyme, which improves the digestion of raw milk. The pasteurized milk definitely doesn't have. A couple of other things, also reading these because they're really loaded words. Lactoperoxidase, it's a natural occurring antimicrobial enzyme and which helps fight infections. This is deactivated when milk is pasteurized. And then the intestinal alkaline phosphatase enzyme is associated with decreased inflammation, lowering cardiovascular diseases like type 2 diabetes. Another one that's also deactivated during the pasteurization process. So there's just a long list of good elements in raw milk that are no longer present after the pasteurization process. The CDC will argue that pasteurized milk is not more difficult to digest and that pasteurization is necessary. But when you visit their website, it's honestly pretty vague and very much understudied. There are not a lot of studies out there diving into comparison between raw versus pasteurized milk. In terms of, especially those that are state funded or nationally funded by programs like the CDC. I think we kind of have to ask ourselves why. Why is that? What are they going to discover if they do explore it a little bit deeper? Probably wouldn't be as in favor for big business, but it would be interesting to find out. Since that's not an option, we'll just press on and continue exploring for ourselves. So what they are saying, what the CDC guidelines say, And I can see very much how this is true, that pasteurization kills the germs that could be picked up from raw milk that could make you sick. Fair enough. And hey, I'm not totally knocking pasteurized milk in general. I think it could be, or is a good food source, certainly when compared to others. But raw milk is just much more full, a whole food that has a lot of benefits that we're going to get to the health benefits here in a minute. But I think one thing we have to keep in mind is that there is absolutely no such thing as a completely safe food. No such thing as a completely safe food. You can get a poisoning from lunch meat at the deli, or let's not even talk about the known side effects of the preservatives and additives that are in plenty of foods that are on everyday shelves at the grocery store. So before we go knocking raw milk, I think we have to ask ourselves, what else am I consuming? And is there any food that I've consumed that has been guaranteed to be safe? And probably the answer is no. With that said, I would be concerned if you were consuming raw milk from a farm that was very unclean. So if they didn't prioritize reducing flies and cleaning up the stanchion or milking area, cleaning their milking supplies, cleaning the cow's teats before milking, that would be a definite red flag for concern. You won't find that at our farm or probably most raw milk farms. But you don't want that area to be where the cow is milked or where the milk is stored, for that area to be icky, dirty, poopy, cow's poop. So you do want that to be very clean. For us, if our cow does use the bathroom, which she really doesn't go while she's being milked. She's very polite. She has good manners. But if she were, she usually hangs out in her stanchion a little bit longer after I've kind of lifted the back gate up. She hangs out and finishes her food. And if she does use the bathroom, then we get it cleaned up and put straw down over it. So it's important that there are cleanliness measures put into place. So anyways, that would certainly be an area where you would probably want to just make sure that where you're purchasing your milk is conducive for raw milk distribution. Now, there have been some surveys, while the CDC will argue, no, pasteurized milk is not hard to digest. There have been a lot of surveys that have collected data about intolerances. One, and I know I'm sharing this with a little bit of bias, but one in 2007 I thought was just really interesting. It was a survey from Michigan. I'm going to link it in the description below with my other resources. It surveyed raw milk drinkers. 155 of those people had been diagnosed with a lactose intolerance by a healthcare professional. And out of 155, 118 of them did not have lactose intolerance symptoms when they were drinking raw milk. And so 76% of these survey respondents that had been diagnosed with lactose intolerance were able to consume raw milk and didn't have digestive issues. So I just thought that one was really interesting. There are a lot of other surveys that have similar conclusions to these, finding that raw milk is easier to digest. And before wrapping up though, I wanted to just provide a list of potential health benefits, and where these benefits really stem from is just the nutrient-packed, very rich food source, live food source that raw milk is. So many of these, the vitamin A in raw milk goes a long way. It contributes to a lot of these potential health improvements or reduction of certain risks. So I'm gonna read some of this list just so I don't miss anything. But raw milk has been associated with lower rates of cardiovascular disease, lowering type 2 diabetes because of those enzymes and reducing overall inflammation, reducing allergies and asthma, reducing the risk of respiratory and ear infections. It can protect against eczema and also help heal eczema. I've got a customer whose husband has severe eczema, and the only thing that helps him is raw Jersey milk. And they are just so sweet. She is just, every time she comes out, she's just so grateful. And it, oh my gosh, it just makes me so thankful to have this and be able to provide this resource to other families. It improves the health of organs like heart, lungs, kidneys, pretty important organs. Lowers blood pressure. This is because of the potassium. Improves bone health, lots of calcium, supports eye health, reduces inflammation, and can improve fertility and overall function of the body. It can also help balance hormones because of the good rich fats that are in raw milk. And then lastly, it's a probiotic and a prebiotic, so it's really good for the gut microbiome. And if you're familiar, the gut microbiome is the foundation of your entire immune system. So that can help with pretty much everything, your mental health, physical health, and overall wellness and well-being. So I think that's just pretty incredible. It is definitely a super food. And before discounting or writing it off, I think that it is important, or I would just encourage anyone to explore raw milk a little bit for your family. Do your own research and see if it's something that you want to try. For us, it has been just really incredible. Not only is it really good for us, but we love the taste, and our customers are definitely enjoying it too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video all about the benefits of raw milk, and I hope that you'll subscribe so we can see you next time.